What's up, Miami Dolphins fans? Jacob here, Miami Dolphins Syndicate. The Miami Dolphins took down the New York Jets 11-6 yesterday, clinching the final wild card spot. These are the 5 things we learned after winning that game. Number 1, Jason freaking Sanders. Now, this time last week, I came on here, 5 things we learned, and completely slandered the guy. 2 games in a row that he missed kicks that potentially could helped us win the ball game. And then yesterday, 3 of 3, a 37, a 37, and then a 50-yard field goal to win the game, put the Dolphins up 3. Of course, we eventually do get that safety there in the last play, but Jason Sanders, I was ready to ship him out. I was ready to say we need a new kicker as the Miami Dolphins. Now, I expected us to lose the game yesterday. I know. I get it. I was a doubter. I did not believe. I was one of the few people in that stadium that the entire time I did not feel that confident. At the end of the game, man, I nearly cried because of how happy I was that we finally made the playoffs, and really was due to Jason Sanders. The offense was horrible yesterday outside of the running game, which we'll get to. We moved the ball, but it was really just a few first downs and then a punt. Few first downs and then a punt. We didn't turn the ball over, but we weren't scoring any points. We weren't doing anything on offense. And Jason Sanders has the most clutch performance of his life, his best game as a Miami Dolphin to help to get the Dolphins into the playoffs. Number 2, Skylar Thompson played scared. Now, I don't want to be too negative. This is the one negative point that I would like to focus on after yesterday's win. Skylar Thompson, now he was not ever meant to be in that situation. A third stringer, the rookie that we drafted with the 7th round pick, he was never supposed to be in that situation yesterday where the fate of the Miami Dolphins playoff hopes are on his shoulders. That wasn't supposed to be what he was coming in to do. He was supposed to come in and really not even be active. Just be a practice squad quarterback. If one of the other 2 quarterbacks goes down, he steps in as the backup. But he's had to play a lot this year. He wasn't probably not expected to play a lot this year. And with the fans seeing how he played in the preseason, the expectations for him really skyrocketed. He had an incredible preseason, and people expected him to compete with Tua for the starting job. Obviously, I thought that was ridiculous, but some people that I've talked to wanted Skylar Thompson as a starter, and a lot of people especially wanted him as the backup over Teddy. I never subscribed to either of those ideas. He played great against backups. Somebody who shops at the store I work at is a big Reed Sinet fan for how he played last year against the Cincinnati Bengals in the final preseason game. Obviously, those two, what the talent level they played against, you can't compare it to what they actually are going to look like when they walk out there on Sundays. But he was scared. He had multiple opportunities to hit Jalen Waddle coming across, Tyreek Hill coming across. There's a few deep shot opportunities that Mike McDaniel was drawing up. Initially, I was like, why aren't we scheming to put the ball downfield? And then I just paid attention, and oh, wait, we are. Just Skylar Thompson just did not feel comfortable. He was clearly very anxious. He didn't want to be the one to make the mistake for the Miami Dolphins yesterday. And since we won, I could shrug my shoulders because, look, he didn't make that mistake. He had 150 yards. Joe Flacco had the same exact stat line. He did not want to be the one to screw up, and he didn't screw it up. But he also did not do anything really to help us win the game. And again, he was never supposed to be there. So I can only put so much hate on him. Hate's probably a strong word. So much discredit to him. But he was definitely scared. He definitely didn't want to be out there yesterday. Number 3, the rushing attack returns. The Miami Dolphins finally had some success yesterday in the rushing attack. 162 total yards on the ground. Jeff Wilson led the way, 72 yards. Raheem Mostert, 71 yards. 162 total yards. Finally, we were able to rely on the rushing attack. Skylar Thompson only had 152 yards, so our rushing attack was better than our passing attack yesterday. And it helped us prolong drives. It helped us get into field goal range. We saw multiple rushes around 8 to 12 yards, and we desperately need that. We need to be able to move the sticks rushing the ball. There obviously were those times where we got stuffed at the line of scrimmage, but coming against Quinn Williams, one of the best defensive tackles in the entire league, that's kind of expected. The Jets have a very good defense. So I did not expect the rushing attack to be as successful as it did, but how we were able to move the ball, putting us in position to kick field goals. Yeah, we weren't getting in the end zone, but the rushing attack is really what saved us yesterday. And that's something I've been desperately crying for. As long as I've done this series, as long as I've done 5 things we've learned, every single week the Miami Dolphins fail rushing the ball. Or against the Buffalo Bills, we're having a great rushing attack, and then we decide to go away from it later on in the game. it's something that when we get to the playoffs now, when we come against these good teams, we're coming against Buffalo, you have to be able to sustain drives, have more than just these 8-play drives where you hit them downfield. You need to have a lengthy drive, control the clock, and keep the other team's quarterback on the sideline, stop them from doing damage. We finally saw that again. Dolphins controlled the clock. We outgained them significantly, and the rushing attack, putting us in field goal position, is arguably what won us the game yesterday. Number 4, let's go Buffalo. Words I never thought I'd say and I mean, but thank God the Buffalo Bills took care of business defeating the New England Patriots. What was it? 35-22. I don't have it in front of me. I probably should have had that in front of me. Shout out to them. Shout out to them taking care of business, and that was definitely a much more entertaining game there in Buffalo. And Patriots had the lead in multiple occasions throughout the game, but Buffalo just kept coming back. And shout out to the people at the Dolphins Stadium who, as soon as the game ended, putting the Buffalo Bills-Patriots game on the big screen. We were walking out. They put it on. We're like, oh, nope. Just grab 2 seats. We're sitting here. We're staying. We're watching. Also, shout out to the people at the Dolphins Stadium. They did not put the score of the Buffalo Bills-New England Patriots game on the board one time. They have, the little rotating thing that goes around. Not rotating, but the display that goes around the stadium. Where they usually have fantasy stats, and then they'll also have the scores of the other games going on. They showed all the other scores except for that game. I'm sure that was something that was talked to by Coach McDaniel, saying, hey, look, we don't want our players scoreboard watching. We want them fully focused on here. But shout out to the Buffalo Bills taking care of business and helping us get into the playoffs. And finally, let's go to Buffalo. While we just thanked them and we're really appreciative of the Buffalo Bills for winning against the New England Patriots, now it's time to flip the script and take care of business. We went up to Buffalo a few weeks ago and put out a very strong performance against the Buffalo Bills and should have walked away with a win. The Miami Dolphins really outplayed them. They out-schemed them, out-coached them, and then Josh Allen is just a really good football player. Now it's time to go out there and finish the deal. Miami Dolphins are probably going to be getting, hopefully going to be getting Tua back. And Tua has had himself some pretty good games this year against Buffalo. He handled himself in the cold about a month ago, and getting him back, I don't want to see Skyler back out there. Teddy Bridgewater, he could probably do a job, but as much as I've had to say about Tua these last few weeks, he is our best quarterback, and he gives us the best chance to win. We go up to Buffalo. We've played them twice already this year. 2 very strong, competitive, entertaining matchups, and now we get to go up there, try to have our first playoff win in my lifetime. Yeah, it's pretty sad to say. I've still yet to witness the Miami Dolphins win a playoff game, but hey, you got to purchase a ticket to try to win. We're in the playoffs for the first time since 2016, 2017. It feels absolutely amazing. Like I said earlier in the video, there's moments where I felt like I was going to cry. I was so emotional. When Jason Sanders hit that field goal, I hugged my girlfriend next to me. Felt like I was going to cry. When we stopped them at the end of the game, got the safety, felt like I was going to cry. And then when they put the game up on the board, I thought the Patriots had the ball, and then Mac Jones throws an interception. So it was to my surprise, and everybody in the stadium erupted when we look up 3 minutes left. The Bills have the ball, up 2 scores, and the emotions are coming back to me now. Again, I just wanted to. I didn't. I need to point that out. I didn't cry, but man, nearly. It was nearly. And it's sad. It's sad that's the mark that gets me to tears. As a Dolphins fan, we haven't had a lot of success recently. So it's sad that just making the playoffs brings me to the verge of tears. If we won the Super Bowl, oh my gosh, I'd have to call it work for the next week. I'd be a mess. But those were the 5 things we learned against the New York Jets, getting into the playoffs as a 7th seed, going on taking on Buffalo this next Sunday. Man, what a game. It was entertainment-wise a horrible game, but the anxiety was filled throughout that stadium. Every play, everybody either erupted in cheers or erupted in boos. There was really no in-between. Everybody was so anxious, and the team played anxious too, but finally got the win, finally clinched the playoff spot. We were 8-3. I didn't think we were going to make the playoffs. Coming into this game, I thought we were going to lose, but we took care of business. The Bills took care of business, and here we are in the playoffs. How excited are you for the Dolphins to make it to the playoffs? How good do you feel about our chances going up to Buffalo? We're going to have a lot of content this week talking about this matchup going up to Buffalo. So let me hear from you down in the comments. If you haven't done so already, please like, please subscribe, and please make sure to have a great rest of your day. Take care, everybody.